Well, while we were in Colorado at the Narrow Gauge Convention, something unrelated to the Narrow Gauge Convention happened.
Yes, it did.
And it happens every Labor Day at the Shelby American Museum.
Yeah. Oh, man.
And we've been threatening to get out to the Shelby American Museum because that's where the Miller collection ended up.
Well, we found out where they all went to from here.
Yeah, they vanished. They were
Yes.
moved to the proverbial undisclosed location.
Yes.
And now that disclosed location is Boulder, Colorado, to the Shelby American Museum. I don't think they're all there.
No.
And I think they cycle around. I think Greg sends some over there and then keeps some, and I don't know how that works.
To keep it from getting boring.
Absolutely, because we never want to be boring.
No, so they cycle their cars.
So anyway, we went to the car show at the Shelby American Museum for Labor Day. Check this out. So while we were in Denver area, we drove up to Boulder, in part to chase trains.
Of course.
But also because the Shelby American Collection was having their annual car show on Labor Day.
Yes.
At the Shelby American Collection there in Boulder.
Right.
Now the Shelby American Collection was started by Steve Voigt, I think, Steve, and the Murray brothers.
Okay.
And the Murray brothers had their restoration shop there in Boulder.
Nice.
And they were pretty well known as perhaps the best restorers of any kind of Cobra or Super Ford for that matter.
Oh my goodness.
So it was a neat car show.
Oh, I loved it.
Wow, what a collection of amazing.
Oh, Boss 302.
Yeah, oh, you gotta love it. So it isn't all Shelbys. In fact, it isn't even all Fords. It's just mostly Fords.
Oh, look, it's a beer cozy in your honor.
It's got my name on it. It must be mine.
That's a beautiful 66.
You know, it's basic, but beautiful.
Oh, I love it.
Just an amazing little Mustang.
Oh, the interior, the color, everything.
And inside the museum, we wanted to see the Miller collection. That's kind of what brought us here. And they wouldn't let us in.
No.
Not without paying $150 a piece to see cars that we'd already seen quite a bit of, the Miller collection. It's just that they were doing the fundraiser for the museum, and they wanted $150 a person to take part in the car show.
With or without a car.
With or without a car. And you could look at the cars, but if you wanted to, you know, be part of it, it was $150, and they wouldn't let you into the museum unless you paid the $150 each.
Yes.
And I didn't really feel like shelling out $300 to see a bunch of cars that we already knew about. So we will go back.
Yes.
Because I'm dying to see which of these cars found their way in there. This is, of course, the Miller collection. We've got that show up, a couple of shows on the Miller collection.
Right.
But of course, we want to see the Shelby American Museum.
Of course.
So we'll come back to see that, but just way too expensive.
At that rate, yes.
At that rate, so we'll come back.
Absolutely.
Now, of course, the other really cool collection of Carroll Shelby cars belonged to Carroll Shelby.
Right in Las Vegas.
In Las Vegas, yeah. So they've got the Carroll Shelby Museum there. We've got a show up on that. And Steve Voigt, Carroll Shelby, and Larry Miller would often combine their collections to do shows.
Wow.
Larry here in the sweater met the Murray brothers of Boulder because he had them restore several of his cars. This was his first Cobra, and he had them restore it, and it was here in his collection out at the Miller Racetrack in Tooele, Utah. That's been sold, and all of these cars moved, and a lot of them spend time now in Boulder as part of the Shelby American collection.
Nice.
Kind of complicated,
Yeah,
but that's
bit.
how it's all parsed out.
Which is where they have this really cool car show every year.
And it's a blast.
Oh, yeah.
They sure had an incredible collection of Shelby Mustangs here.
Yes, they did. Those two almost look familiar.
Oh, don't they just? Kind of out in the garage. But these are not ours. No, this is a 5-liter Mustang. Ooh, we don't have a 5-liter, but how sexy are these guys here?
Beautiful.
All kinds of different Mustangs here. This is a unique one. This is a Hurst Shelby. And the Hurst Shelbys have a Paxton supercharged 6-cylinder engine.
Nice.
And here we have a Super Snake.
Oh, isn't that cool?
Ah, this one's like 620 horsepower.
Oh my gosh.
5.8 liters supercharged Windsor block.
Oh dear.
Oh my gosh. They made a 1,000 horsepower version of this too, but it's utterly undrivable.
I would imagine.
The 600 horsepower you can at least drive around. Every few minutes too, another Shelby Mustang arrived. Again, just so many cool Shelbys arriving. Here's another hearse Shelby here. And check this out, a 67.
I want
A
that.
mildly Shelbyized 67 GT.
Now that's the one I want.
The 68
Yes.
GT. Oh, I love a 68.
wow.
The bullet car, although it's not in the green. Oh, and a Cobra too.
Yes, I know somebody's got one of those.
Yes, we
My
do.
daughter.
She sure does. And if she ever wants to find a new home,
Yeah, it needs to be restored completely.
yeah, and they're actually pretty cool. Looks like James Bond is in the house.
It sure is.
Except this is a DB7, not a
Okay.
DB9. Oh, here comes your car.
A Camaro, wow.
Yeah, I love them too, but you actually had one.
Yeah, mine was a 71.
Yeah, that's what, a 68?
Yeah.
I think so.
That's
67 or
it's
68.
No, it's
Hard
not
to-
a 67. It has side lights.
Okay, so 68. And here we have a Chevelle.
Yes.
Love Chevelles.
Oh, yes.
SS396 being my favorite. Ooh, and a Comet.
Comet.
Oh, I love the little small Fords. And there were some really exotic European numbers
kidding.
here. This is a Cat Allard.
Nice.
The Allards were the first cars to stick big American V8s in little sports cars. This has a Cadillac engine in it, hence the name Cat Allard.
There you go.
But they put other engines in, but the most obvious is the Cat. Ooh, and an E-Type. Love it, Jaguar E-Type. Used to be able to pick those up for under 1,000 used.
Check out the Firebird.
Ooh, Firebird 400. Oh, and this. Now, I would assume this to be a reproduction
Okay.
car, as opposed to an actual Ferrari GTO,
Oh my.
because I think there's only 2 of those in the United States.
And that might be one of them, but
And
you
that
never know.
could be one of those 2. The last one sold for $30 million,
Okay.
making it the most
so-
expensive collectible car. So I don't know if this is a reproduction, but I would assume that it is.
Yeah.
But who knows?
You never know about
There
these
was
things.
a really neat reproduction that you could build out of a Nissan
Oh, yes.
240Z.
Yeah.
So this could be a 240Z.
It could be.
It'd be sort of a sheep in wolf's clothing.
That's true.
Something like that. Now here's that 68 Camaro.
Oh,
again.
you've got to love a Camaro.
Especially the early ones. I just really love the early ones. And here we have a Viper,
Oh,
very
my.
similar in concept to a Shelby Cobra. Oh,
Oh, a 49 Ford.
49 Ford. My aunt had a 49 Ford. Hers did not have a propeller on the front.
No, we had one too when I was a little Bubba's.
Yeah?
Yeah, ours had a light in the front. My dad fixed it.
My aunt's had a fog light in the front. And it came that way from the factory.
yeah.
This one has a flat head.
Yes.
And I don't think my aunt's had a flat head.
Oh, ours did, yeah.
But how neat. And here's the DB7 again. I love Austin Martins. And this is an odd car. This is an Esperante. They're built one at a time by hand.
Oh, dear.
And they're built for specific customers, pre-ordered by a customer, who then gets their name attached to the car.
Oh, my.
And all of the builders sign the car.
Well, that's cool.
So it's a little over the top, but how cool is that? You don't see these around much.
No, I wouldn't think so.
Ford drivetrain, so in that regard, they're real easy to get repairs done on them, and super high performance. But wow, what a car.
No kidding.
And here's one of the most amazing cars currently manufactured.
It's a four-door.
Yeah, Austin Martin Rapide.
Oh, my.
Four-door version, essentially, of the DB9.
Look at that interior.
Just gorgeous.
Looks like a rocket ship.
Well, there you have it.
Oh, my gosh.
That's a neat car show.
Yeah.
And it may be a neat museum
Wow.
if we ever get a chance to see it.
The whole thing, yeah.
We saw a tiny bit of it. I feel like we're totally familiar with it,
Yes.
simply because we had free reign of it when it was in Salt Lake City. They just opened the door and let us go in there whenever we wanted. A little different now.
Right.
But we'll get back.
We will.
We'll get back and we'll pay $8 and we'll go see
some other time
the whole collection, because it's more than just Larry Miller's collection. There's a lot of other neat cars. And there's Shelby American in Las Vegas. Now, Shelby American Las Vegas, and if you've seen the show on the Shelby manufacturing facility there in Las Vegas, they just moved it from one location to another.
They did.
And they moved the museum. Now, there was a rumor going around that the museum was going to be combined with the museum in Boulder, and all of Carroll Shelby's cars would be set up there.
Yeah.
They weren't. They're at the facility in Las Vegas. So we're going to head down to Las Vegas.
Yes.
Right away, like
Yes.
in the next couple of weeks.
Yes. Soon.
And we're going to go scope that out, because that's Carroll Shelby's collection.
Right.
And but I guess those two, you know, it's Shelby American, both locations. So I guess they swap cars around and they do things.
A lot
so
of the museums do that.
they do. So that's fun. But a lot of those other cars are, and cars from that other video they're still in Las Vegas, still at Shelby American. It's just that Shelby American is not at the racetrack anymore. It's at a new location, which we're going to go scope out.
Find it out.
Go find it out. Hi, doggies.
Oh
my goodness.
Oh my goodness, little doggies and kitties.
Little dogs and little kids.
gotta
Just
love it.
don't run out on the road, please. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
At any rate, we will head on over there.
Yes.
If you haven't, speaking of heading over, if you haven't been over to the channel,
Head over there.
head over there and scope out the 230, 40, I don't know what it is, movies that we've got over there on lots of different screwing around subjects.
Yes.
Most of you would know that it's mostly trains, but just like you just saw, it isn't all trains, it's all kinds of toys.
Cars once in a while.
If it's toys, it's there.
Yes.
So check those out, and if you're not a subscriber to the channel, do subscribe.
Yes.
And you can subscribe by clicking on the infamous blue button, zoink, right there. Blue button says subscribe, takes you to the channel, makes you a subscriber, and then you can set your notifications and so on. Well, we're not sure how you found this movie on the internet. We hope you didn't find it boring. And we will see you here again in a few days with some more massive screwing around.
See ya.
Bye-bye.
Why would you want to do that?
Why would you want to do a thing like that?